from being in that frame of mind of, oh, I could just turned over in bed and gone back to sleep and watched all this on YouTube. Right, good morning everybody. So, we are on our way. It feels like day 2, but it's not really day 2, it's about day 3. What time did I left Thursday, it's now Sunday. So we're now leaving Brenton. I've just topped up and we're heading to Pamplona. My sat nav's telling me we will get there at 20 past 4. Well, let's hope that's the case. So it's not raining. I've put my ride iron trousers on from the wetsuit. I've left the top off for now because I think it'll be a bit warm, but I've also got my thermals on. So I'm not taking any chances today, but it's certainly warmer than it was when I left Caen. So, well, that wants me to go there. I'm not going that way. I know it wants to take me to Perrigo first. I'm on my way there. I never know whether it's good to ignore your sat nav, but sometimes, if you know a little bit better, why not? Same mileage. So there we are. I'm babbling now. You always think you've forgotten something, don't you? That's why I've tried not to completely empty everything out. Just take off the bike what I needed to, and so there's not so much to put back on. But you got to make sure you still get your passport and your cards and all that sort of stuff, which I think we have. Anyway, so I've rigged up the 360 camera with the Bluetooth on the microphone with the gain turned right down. So I'm hoping that you're getting this. We never know, dear. And we should have that, but yes, the new mic has come and Karen's going to bring it out to me in Marrakesh, and she's not flying out especially for that. She's flying because she's within a week of me, so that's really nice. Right. I shall catch up with you all once we've done a few miles and have a little chat as we're going along. Some of the other things I've thought about while we've been going, but yes, this is the next day, or day 2 of travelling, and the sky looks a little bit dark, although I've got my sunglasses on, so it can be quite deceptive. Right, I'll see you all in a bit, guys. Take care. Right, quick sit rep. We're in wine country. We're heading towards Bergerac, so that's pretty cool. I've got to say, these roads, you go on these French roads, I mean, you forget how big a country France is, because even on a Sunday, the weather's not fantastic, is it? But the roads are just so quiet. You do get the odd moped, shall I say, coming up behind you, and that can be a bit of a pain, and you just have to wave them forward, let them go past you, find a safe spot. Because you really want to, in this sort of situation, I think you want to be riding at your own pace. My own pace for this trip is sort of 50 miles an hour. I'm not in any hurry. I think towards you get to the end of your day's journey, you sort of, I want to get there. But you have to sort of try and sort of resist that temptation, and you just sort of, you get faster and faster. I've been there like that before, not just on motorbikes, but in cars and stuff. You just want to get there. And that's why I've sort of left myself enough time to do this. But once you've got some decent music on your phones and you're listening to music, it's a shame sometimes, you get some lovely stretches of road and you just want to be able to let people hear the music that you're playing in your headset, because sometimes it matches perfectly, doesn't it? It's so lovely. What have I had this one? I've had Pink Floyd. What have I got? Cream on there at the moment, blasting away, so it's really good. I've got such an eclectic mix on my phone. there'll be Debussy in a minute, and then probably, I don't know, all sorts of Bjork and everything. Yeah, funny art with people and music. But yeah, these roads are just absolutely magical, and I've been lucky with the weather so far. It's still quite overcast, but the temperature's good, and I'm not struggling to keep warm. So, and I did actually leave my upper jumper at home. You know, so I can't be up to write with my bags again. Slide that in. I probably should have done. I think if I do get really cold, I could just layer up. You know, I've got t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts and stuff. And that always used to be the trick when I used to work in the country. Just layer up, you know, and then you can just unlayer as you go, rather than one big warm thing. So there we are. We're on our way still. It's all going well. I've got just over 200 miles to go. So it's been going well. Right, I'm having a little stop. Going great guns actually, going really, really well. So I'm well over halfway, and still feel reasonably good. But I'll probably tell you something different when I get to Pamplona. But the roads have been great, really quiet. Bike's doing well. See that PR. I'm gonna have a quick check over it in a minute and just make sure nothing's going funny. Seems all right. I'm in one of these little towns that have a lovely little square, which are great. The sort of architecture's changed a little bit, so it's all a bit different now. So you've got different styles of houses and things now, which is quite cool, but very pretty. And obviously I got my Snickers. Got to have your Snickers and some water. I had my coffee earlier, so yeah, really, it's some of the nicest riding I've ever done. I think coming through here, the roads are starting to get a little bit straight. They've been straight for a while, so I've now the actual the landscape's changed. You know, it's much flatter now. It's a bit like riding through. It's like going through through the New Forest, but with houses which were in the forest that were all like little Tudor cottages. It's really random. It's really weird. But the smells, you get the smells of the pine trees and that. So I think that's the way it's going to be now until I get certainly to the Spanish border and across the border. So I'm going to finish my Snickers, have a bit more water, and then I'm going to crack on. But we're making great progress. It's been really nice, this ride, really nice. Not too cold. I've got the heated grips on sort of low, but it's okay. It's good, and I haven't been touched by rain. Hey, all right. I'll see you a bit later on. It was this thing I was thinking about when I was coming down on the trip on Friday when I rode down from Caen, and it was at that moment. I've had this before on trips when I used to do it in the Land Rovers and stuff, that you go from being in that frame of mind of, I could just turned over in bed and gone back to sleep and watched all this on YouTube and watch somebody else do it, to actually being in the trip, that you suddenly realise you're on the trip. It now makes sense, and you're in it. You're like that. Is it the PNR, the point of no return? That you're only going forward now. And there came that moment on Friday when I had that. And suddenly realised, yes, this is what I planned to do. This is what I've wanted to do for a long time. Get back on the road and do this. And I felt I was suddenly back in the game, sort of thing. So I mean that I was on a trip, and it was gonna be a slightly life-changing experience again. Where some of the trips that I've done have been like that. Particularly, I remember going to China, and I was away for quite some considerable time then, and sort of understanding who I was at that point. You know, we're going back quite a few years now, but realised what was important, what wasn't important, what you let go over your head. You know, but And I think that's really important to do that. No, you are. It might have taken me 50 years to get to that point. Might be a little bit more. Is it about 50? Yeah, late 40s, 50s. And it's quite an interesting experience, really. Just to understand what's not important in life. You only get one go at this. And it was a Sunday magazine article, and it's funny things that stay with you. And I read this donkeys years ago, and it was about Ian McShane of all people. Yes, John Lovejoy, and I think he'd been a bit of a drinker in his time. Fortunately, I haven't, but you know, there for the grace of God. And he'd said that he was sitting in a bar, and he was looking at his drink, and he suddenly realised, I don't want to be sitting here in 20 years' time wondering what if I'd have done that? What if I'd have done this? Would my life have been different? And he stopped drinking and got on with life, and you know how successful he was after that. You know, he did tons of stuff. So yeah, I've always stuck with that as, you know, don't just think about it, go and do it. It doesn't matter if you fail, it really doesn't matter, but that you tried it, you gave it a go, and then maybe next time you'll go a bit further, maybe next time you go do something else. But yeah, you only get one chance at this, everybody, so have something to pass on. Look how lucky we are with YouTube now and all the rest of it. You know, you're documenting that. You can document these things for the next generation, and not that it might be worth anything, but you know, someone can look at it, one of your family one day, instead of looking at an old dusty piece of paper with a few lines in it, they can say, oh look, I can actually see what my granddad did, or my dad, and all the rest of it, and that's fantastic. How lucky we are. That was it, really. It was just like a no, it's not your mid-journey, is it? Just things that come to me sometimes when you're on the road, isn't it? Right, so I thought I'd give you our latest sit rep. I wonder if you can see that. It's probably an eagle. It's probably carrying off a small child or something. So I'm about 40 miles from Pamplona. Hopefully you saw the sign. That's when we went past. First time I said Pamplona. So we're in the Pyrenees, in the pair of knees, I think. But obviously the terrain's completely changed out. It is a bit, as my old mate used to say, used to work with, it's a bit rainy-fied. But I think that's just because of where we are, really. It's the mist and the clouds condensing. So it's all right. It's not really a problem. But amazing roads, and hopefully you can see the mountain through the clouds there. Would you call that a mountain? I suppose you would. But the roads are incredibly quiet. That's the first car that's come past me in about 5 minutes. So, well, cool. But yeah, I'll let you know once we get into Pamplona. You sort of feel like Pamplona should be like a city, an old city, but it's just going to sort of appear out of nowhere, isn't it, really? But it's not too cold, and everything's good. I topped up back in the Pyrenees. When we sort of came in, I saw a Carrefour and dived in there and filled up, so I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. But it's looking good. Right, I shall see you when we get into Pamplona. sort of in the right place. So I had to go up here. Body sat nav took me to a place. Said, no, you have to walk the rest of the way. And do I bugger? Right, so I need to go up where that white car's going. Go up 2 buildings, left along, left on a bit of a crescent. The hotel should sort of be in front of me. What do you reckon? Will it work? Let's find out. I feel confident. I've got this far. That's always the tricky part. You get so far and then you can't get the last like 100 yards. Let's give it a lash. Come on. I know it says you can't go up there, but apparently you can. If you're really good. Yeah, not the perfect stuff. There's not really no lorry in the way. Good. Excuse me, do you know what the Hotel Citadel?
¿Hotel?
Yeah, Citadel.
Pero no sé cómo.
Yeah. This one?
Pamplona Catedral.
Oh, yeah.
Tiene que seguir por esta calle.
Down there? Yeah.
Y luego vuelvo a preguntar, es esta calle y es que está en la parte de lo viejo del Hotel Catedral.
So,
Un momento,
down and then.
un momento.
Okay. I would have never found this. Oh dear. I've been in all sorts of restricted places today. Oh no, I was sort of near this, wasn't I? That's why. I sort of at the bottom of this. I was very close. That's tight. Well, that's secure. Right, so after dropping off the bike, I had a quick change, and then I thought, well, while it's still light, I'll go down and have a look around the town. So I know, Pamplona is famous for its bull run, and I'm not going to go into the whys and wherefores of bullfighting, but it's part of Spanish culture anyway. But yeah, the actual city itself, it looks really pretty, and I think it'd be quite an interesting place for like a weekend break here. And plenty of cafes and lots of tapas bars and all that sort of stuff. So it looked really, really interesting, and something I might come back to have a better look at.
but not really when the balls are running. I think they do the tomato festival thing here as well, don't they? Where they throw all the tomatoes around, I think. Anyway, didn't know a great deal about it, but interesting stop. But you might want to make sure you know where the car parks are before you come next time. I certainly would. The other thing that I came for was I wanted to go to that Cafe Runa, which is where Hemingway would stop, and that was nice. Great tapas, really good. So I'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone, and ride safe.